Okay, so it's the 16th of November. I gave a little update yesterday on Outfox The Market, kind of introducing this new direct debit scheme or approach. And there's been a few changes overnight. So just kind of bringing you up to date with that and telling you what I'm doing. So this morning, Outfox The Market gave an update on the current situation, and basically they're saying that obviously they've received lots of feedback from their customers, and if you feel that your direct debit does not match your expected usage or you have excessive credit on your account, you can now follow up with them and they will consider the kind of changes that are suggested. You also have to provide a photo of your current meter reading, and then they have some discussion. So this is better than it was, but from my perspective there's a couple of issues. One, they already have all this data. They know how much credit you have and they know how much your last meter reading was, because you have to submit your meter readings every month, so they have at least a month old data. So it's a bit crap that the customer has to provide this information. And obviously there's still no guarantee that this means they're actually going to change anything. They might just say, yeah, okay, you're £220 in credit, that's great, but we still think you need to pay us £197 a month or whatever it may be. And I think the main thing, especially for me, is it shows that there hasn't been enough consideration, I think, in this move. There's also been a couple of people that tweeted on Twitter that they have contacted them to kind of share the meter photo and everything, and the response hasn't been, okay, we're going to change it. The response has been, oh, it's all good, because in the summer you can save up this money ready for the winter to pay for the more expensive direct debit, so it's all good. And that's kind of, I kind of get what they're saying there, but you have to remember this is, implementation is coming in the winter, so there hasn't been any saving done ready for the winter to pay more. People are expecting to pay what they were paying last month and the month before. Aside from obviously some slight variation in tariff change. So I can see it from both perspectives. From a customer perspective, we like to have a regular standard direct debit every month of a certain amount, so we know kind of where we stand and help us budget. But I also understand it from the supplier side. Is, you know, traditionally there is a portion of the year where a supplier is in debt because your account is in debt, and there's a part of the year that you are in credit, which is, you know, building up into to account for the winter charges that exceed your direct debit. So I kind of see what they're trying to do. They're trying to, I guess they are trying to be fairer to minimize when they are getting into credit or into debt or whatever. I think the problem seems to be, I don't know because I don't work there and obviously haven't been able to speak to them about it, it feels like they haven't looked at the current usage that people have, and they haven't looked at the current amount of credit people have, and I get they haven't got historical data because they're a relatively new company, but I would hope that you could look at current usage, then look at some historical trends and kind of hypothesize what people's winter usage might be, and then that would be a more pragmatic approach if you are kind of adopting this kind of summer winter direct debit model. And I think then, again, not saying people will be happy about it, because obviously changes have still been made to your monthly payment, but at least it would help articulate to people better why it's happening. So that's the current situation. I feel bad actually for the people that work at Outfox The Market, because they're probably getting a lot of grief and shouting at people on the phone, but obviously it's not them, this is a business decision that's been made. But for me, it's kind of really damaged the trust in the provider. So I've decided to switch to Octopus. So I've notified Outfox The Market that I want to end my business with them and will be switching to another provider. I've filled out the paperwork with Octopus to have that go through. So the next update I give on this, unless anything changes, will be kind of how that transition to Octopus went, and obviously that I got my money back from Outfox The Market. So just a couple of things on that, because a few people mentioned it on Twitter, so I thought I'd try and clarify from my perspective. Obviously, if you cancel your direct debit, there may be a couple of issues with that. So one of the things would be in the terms and conditions, you have to be able to make your payment within 5 days of them issuing it. So if you've cancelled your direct debit because obviously you're upset with the current thing that's happened, yes, of course, you're managing the money they can automatically take, but then technically you might be in breach of terms and conditions, right? Because you can't pay the bill unless you pay it manually within 5 days, but you're still paying the money anyway. And then also when they come to refund any credit you might have, they use your direct debit records to make that reimbursement. So if you've cancelled that, they won't be able to refund it back into your bank, and then there'll be delays on how they're going to get the money back to you, is it a check or something. So not saying people should do one thing or another, just decide what that's going to be. Obviously, if you haven't got extra money to go and put in an account somewhere, then you're probably going to cancel your direct debit because you don't want to go overdrawn and get charged more money by your bank. So keep that in mind. Me personally, I'm leaving the direct debit open, going to transfer some money into the account to account for this double payment that's going to happen, and obviously then continue to push to get that money quickly back once I move to Octopus, hopefully within 21 days. The other thing that people have mentioned, and I have tweeted about it, so if you don't follow me on Twitter and this sort of stuff is helpful, I do put quite a lot of stuff on there. So it's obviously at Spectrum Geeks. But a few people have been concerned about exit fees. So I did a little bit of looking into this, so going through the terms and conditions. So I'm on the ZAP tariff, but I looked at all their tariffs. So if you're on the ZAP, the WAM, and the PAL tariff, there is no exit fee. So if you're on ZAP, WAM, or PAL, you can cancel. You haven't got to pay any early exit fees, so nothing to worry about there. If you are on the WAC or the Boom tariff, then there is a £50 fee per fuel. So if you have gas and electricity on either one of those tariffs, you have to pay £100 to leave. If obviously only got gas or only got electricity, you're only going to pay £50 to leave. So just keep that in mind when you go through. If you're deciding to leave, then you're a bit more informed. So I'm not saying people should leave, by the way. You need to make your own decisions based on your own experiences. Perhaps you can ring them up and agree a more reasonable direct debit charge. Just for me, I don't like it when a company suddenly decides to pull this kind of thing, because I'm like, well, what's going to be the next thing that they decide to kind of pull on me? And then obviously it adds stress, and it's all down on the customer to try and get hold of them on the phone or get hold of them on chat to try and fix things. So I don't know if Octopus is going to be better. We'll find out. But yeah, that's the decision I've made. If you've got any questions or you're making similar decisions, please feel free to leave comments, share the videos, hopefully subscribe. There's maybe other things on this channel that you find interesting. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter? And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.